This is Trooper, and during this block of instruction, we'll cover crew qualifications, crew training, and selecting skills and perks. Let's get started with crew qualifications. Crew members are trained on a specific class, tank model, and role. Together, this is called the crew member's qualification. The different classes are light, medium, heavy, camping TD, and damn dirty evil clicker. The roles are commander, radio operator, gunner, loader, and driver. In some tanks, like the Leopard here, crew members must fulfill multiple roles. This makes their skill selection a little more challenging. Let's take a look at the commander here. What we'll notice under his skills tab is he not only has the commander role, but he also has a radio operator role. Now this gets tricky because when you move crew members around from tank to tank, for example, if we look at this Ram Panzer, what I call it, we'll notice that this same commander from the Leopard has a radio operator perk. Well, the kick is that it's not in effect. And the reason it's not in effect is because he's not the radio operator on this tank. He's a radio operator on the Leopard, but not the Ram Panzer. We'll talk about moving crew members again here in a few minutes. Alright, other tanks, like the M3 Lee, actually have multiple gunners, or multiple crew members serving the same role. So, as you progress up the tech tree, what you're going to find is that every tank sort of has a different crew loadout, and then the different crew members are going to have different perk requirements based on the type of tank and the other types of crew members that are in there. So, as you progress up the tech tree, you're going to be making some changes to your crew members. They're not going to keep the same basic skills all the way through their lifetime. All right, a crew member can serve on any tank, as we've shown here. I can go and grab a crew member off of, say, the PZ-S35, and he can serve on this Leopard, but this is not a premium tank. So he's going to serve in a diminished capacity. You'll see he's got a red, it's a little bit hard to see here in the UI, but it's red, and it means that he's not trained on this tank. I can decide to train him by going to the personal file and changing his qualification. Again, we already probably talked about that in a blooper reel and haven't talked about it yet. So if I want, I can change his qualification. I can actually put him in the Leopard 1, and I can select a role for him. He's already a commander, so he could just stay there. I'm not going to actually do this because it costs money. When I change his qualification, any perks and skills that he has are going to get reset to 0, and I'll reselect them after he changes. So we'll pretend that I've changed him, click change, and now he has new skills and perks all ready to be selected. Alright, I'm just going to check my notes for a moment here. Okay, one other thing while we're talking about the general qualifications. The crew members actually get a bonus from the commander, and I believe if we pull the primary commander in, they might go up a bit. Yep, so you'll notice that this commander is trained to 100%, so he gets a bonus of 10%, and the other crew members actually went from 113 to 121. I can show that again real quick here. If we go and grab a lower trained guy, we can see that the bonus is diminished for the crew members. So you do want to have a 100% trained commander in the tank to get the most out of your crew. All right, next, training. Basically, how do you train your crew? Put them in a tank, you play the tank. After every game, there will be experience applied to the tank, and there will be experience applied to the crew. This is called Crew XP. There are boosters. I'm going to click on the wrong thing a few times, hopefully not exit game. So I'm running out of time to drop this training video. If we want, we can do crew XP boosters, put those into effect, and that'll actually accelerate your crew training. The other thing you can do is stick them in a premium tank. So I have the Leopard is not a premium tank, but the Ram Panzer is. So I can move that same crew. This is the Leopard crew now. I can put them in here, and even though it shows red because they're not, quote, trained for this tank, it's quite all right. It's a premium tank. They will train up. In fact, not only will they train up, but they will train up fast. I will show you how much faster. What we have here is the amount of time it takes to train. In fact, why don't we just cover the crew stats? You have your battles fought. You have the average experience per battle. You have how long the next level is going to take, and that's literally 1%. So right now he's at 84. It's telling me how many battles and how much experience is required to get to 85%. Not 100%, but 85. It says here that he needs 31,151 credits. Now it's the same either way for premium or non, because it's just how much he needs. But if you look at how many battles are required, if I play in the Leopard, it's going to be an average of 46 battles. Well, it's not really going to be because I'm terrible at the Leopard. It'll probably be 100 battles. But if I play him in a premium, look at this, 30. That's a 33% difference. That's a huge boost in training time. So if you want to boost your crews, get them into front line, get them into battles, use premium tanks. Then when you're ready to play them for real in the tech tree, they're all trained up for you. All right. The next thing that I want to talk about is okay, let's see. We talked about premium. We talked about crew stats. Okay, here are some suggestions for leveling up. First of all, the more games you have, the better. So the next thing is you can move your crews from tank to tank. And I don't just mean move them from tank to tank, like from a standard to a premium, but I mean as you level up through the tech tree, don't leave your crew behind in a crap tank. Sell the tank, you don't need it. Use that money to buy crew books and train that crew back up to 100% on day one and allow them to train all the way through the tech tree so that they're always getting experience in every battle, because they're not going to get any experience on their perk training unless they are trained to 100% within the tank that they're in. Now, let me show you what this looks like. If we take a look at this commander in the Progetto. Now, I only have 350 games, I think, in the Progetto. But this is my only Italian crew. So we can see the total number of battles fought for this commander is 1,177 battles. That's because he started in a Tier 1 Italian tank, and he worked his way all the way up the tech tree, now to the Pantera, and many, many battles in the Progetto, to earn his, all of his skills and perks. So don't leave your crews behind. Bring them with you and retrain them. So the next thing is crew books. Okay, crew books are the next topic. So one of the things I've learned is that you cannot crew book the guys. If I go to purchase, no. Okay, I might be lying to you, but I don't want to take a chance. Typically, crew books can only be applied to the tank that the guys are trained on. So I've bounced around from the Progetto to the Pantera. If I wanted, I don't have enough money right now, but if I wanted to buy a crew book, I could go in here, hit purchase. I just need, 2 million credits, and I could pick up a crew book. There are also crew books available sometimes. I wonder if it doesn't show in here. I guess if I had one available, it would take me to the available screen. But sometimes you get gift crew books or reward crew books, and you can apply those either to a single crew member or sometimes the whole crew. they're not worth as much as actually purchasing them. But you'll see here that this is 250,000 experience. So the tank commander for the Leopard a few minutes ago we were looking at needed 31,000 to move up to the next percent up. So this would definitely get him 1% higher. It would get him probably 2 or 3% higher. He's on his 4th skill, so the crew books become less and less effective because as the skills progress, they get more and more expensive in experience. All right. I think we've talked about the effect of moving crews. All right, Cortana thinks I'm talking to her now. Nice interruption. Okay, so the next thing is, if I want to move my crew back and forth from 2 tanks that are not premium, it costs money because I need to retrain them, but we can move back and forth from premium at no cost. I think everyone probably knows that by now. All right, next we're going to talk about resetting a crew member's skills. If I don't like this particular loadout for skills, I can reset. I can reset for free. I can reset for 20,000 silver or 200 gold. There's a trade-off. This doesn't cost money, but you're going to lose some experience. In fact, you're going to lose 20% of the experience gained, and that's actually, at this point, that's quite a bit. I know that this is, quote, free to play. My advice is if you want to be competitive, you got to have a little budget for the game. Or at least play enough to be able to afford the silver, so that you don't lose so much XP when you reset them. Because as you all know, it takes just a lot of time to grind up the crew skills. All right. But that would allow me to start completely from scratch. And, all right, we talked about retraining qualifications. We talked about resetting crew skills. I guess we're down to probably everybody's favorite topic, selecting skills and perks. I don't really have a whole lot to say on this. It's a topic of endless debate. Ultimately, the skills and perks that you select are going to depend on the role of the tank. For example, if you are a damn dirty clicker, you probably don't need... I don't even know if I have any. Let's see. I have 1 arty. That's true. I have 1 arty. Look at that, guys. And the crew sucks because who cares? But your arty probably needs to be hidden. So camouflage is a nice perk. He probably doesn't need recon or scouting skills. I have no idea if snapshot even has an effect. But anyway, I do have some basic suggestions. Think about the tank's role and what purpose does the tank serve? Well, you're not going scouting in an arty, so you probably don't need scout perks. You're not going to hide in a heavy, so you probably don't need the camo perk. It's not even going to do you any good. I mean, you're going to go from like 100 to 200 out of 1,000, right? So so don't waste the time and energy on trying to train up a camo skill for a heavy tank. Next, I have some general suggestions. This is based on my own personal play style. As you can see here, I have a win rate of 809. So if you want to be a crap player like myself, this is a good advice for you guys. All right, I think that all of your crew members should have Brothers in Arms, and it's a special perk because Brothers in Arms does not come into effect until A, it is 100% trained, and B, 100% trained for every single crew member. But once you have it, it is a huge difference. So let's take a look again at our Italian tank here. Actually, this is the better one. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this guy. Right now, these are all at 121%. So I'm going to send him to the barracks, and we're going to recruit a new player, a new loader, and we're not going to give him anything. We're going to make it free. And you'll notice that we went from 121 to 116. That means that the Brothers in Arms perk is no longer available, and this crew now is garbage. Okay? So, Brothers in Arms, get it fast. I mean, just go out and buy the crew book and apply it and put Brothers in Arms on there. Okay? I think that every commander should have Sixth Sense. Maybe the problem with Sixth Sense is it's not effective until it's 100% trained. So if you are trying to grind a crew, you might pick Recon or some other skill and then reset them later for money. That's a personal choice. I think Recon is nice to have because it extends your spotting ability. Gunners should have Snapshot and Deadeye. Radio operators certainly need situational awareness because that, again, is going to affect your spotting. Drivers, I like to have Smooth Ride and off-road driving. If you have a heavy tank, maybe clutch braking might be better. And for the loaders, I like Safe Stowage because I went grinding up the German line. I get ammo racked all the time, and also Intuition seems to come in handy in those moments of extreme terror when you decide you've got to click the 2 button twice. Sometimes it's nice to not have to reload that shell. All right. And you know, I probably should have brought this up at the beginning. This is probably obvious to everybody that's in our group. But if we have any new players, it's not going to be obvious. When you have a perk or a skill or whatever, it affects your behavior, your performance in the tank. So things like concealment, spotting, and so forth, those all matter. So if I go out and recruit, I don't do this very often, so I don't know how. Okay, if I go grab a new commander here, watch what happens. We went from 7-something to 400. Because this guy has no skills and no perks. I mean, that's a huge difference in tank performance. And it's going to show up in your gameplay. You don't want to be at disadvantage here. And we're playing against people with 55, 60,000 games. Wargaming was nice. They gave us crew books. Use them. I know some of you guys have 30 million credits sitting around. Use the crew books. I mean, what else is the silver for? You're not going to put it in your IRA and retire on it. It's a video game. Spend the money. All right. I think that's really about all I have. Hope you all have a good evening and go kill the shit out of some tanks.